Good afternoon, guys. Today we are going to be looking at point of view. Now, I know you're sitting here thinking, I already know what point of view is. And I'm not disagreeing that you don't, but I think sometimes you don't know how to appropriately use it in your writing. So I think you're really good at identifying it in a story, but when it comes to your own writing, you have troubles. And that's why we're going to look at it. So I really like this definition of point of view. There's many out there, but I like this one. A particular attitude or way of considering a matter. So think about that when it comes to your writing. You are in charge of what your attitude and tone is towards whatever your subject is. And then as the reader, in my case me, then I'm going to perceive whatever you're presenting to me the way you want me to understand it. So your point of view is very important. Okay, I love this. And I think it really does describe what point of view is. The father sees point of view. He's just throwing the little kid up. The kid's like, oh, wow, I'm really high, Daddy. And then the mother says, oh my gosh, he's going to drop him. So if you go back to the definition of point of view, it depends on who you are, how you're going to see it. So as the writer, you got to take whatever your prior experience is towards your subject and just bring that across. Okay, personal pronouns. First, second, and third, they're on here. You should know these already. Know the difference between singular and plural and when to use them. And you got first all the way across, second, and then third person. For our academic writing purposes, you need to stay in third person. So these are the pronouns that you should be using. Up here, these are less formal. So first and second person are informal, third person is formal. I like this quote. Good way to live. All right. First person point of view. You're going to use this when you're doing personal writings. You did that when you did the what I'm passionate about. When you're doing your Pinterest presentations, you're going to talk about that. Anytime you are talking about yourself and anytime we do fun, creative stuff, you are more than welcome to use first person. Okay? But the reason you want to avoid it in the academic writing is it keeps you from being objective. If you're constantly saying, I think this, or I believe that, or anything of that nature, you are not allowing your reader, you're not allowing just the argument to speak for itself. Okay, so you will always write in third person unless I tell you otherwise. Second person. Now this is really the reason why I created this PowerPoint is so many of you guys are using second person. First of all, it's anytime you use the word you or your, yours. Okay, so if you're using that, you're speaking informally. So your paper has gone from nice, elegant third person into the informal second person. Now there's several reasons you're going to want to avoid this. First of all, it's just informal, so it takes away from your writing. But there are times when you're going to want to use it. For example, in your emails, presentations, interpersonal communication, anytime like that, of course you're going to want to use you because that is an informal situation. So that's fine, but for academic writing, it's going to lessen it. And let's look at an example. Okay, the real reason you don't want to use second person is it alienates your reader. So let's look at the example, then we'll talk about why that alienates me. All beginning college students should learn how to write well. Okay, so this person has clearly stated their argument. I agree. Doing so will allow you to do better in school and you will receive better grades. Okay, well now, first of all, they've shifted from the third person of all college students to you. Now, they're not just saying college students in general, because I agree with that. Now they're saying that I'm going to do better. Well, that's fine, but I was trained very well in high school how to write, so I went to college writing well. So now I'm feeling a little bit insulted that whoever this person is, they don't think that I write well. So now you've kind of put your reader on the defensive, and they're not necessarily going to want to read anything else that you've said. So aside from the fact that you've confused me, because you started with talking about everybody, and now you're talking about me, then you've also just ticked me off. Now a better way to write it is down here in green. All beginning college students should learn how to write well. Doing so will allow them to write better in school and receive better grades. Again, this is something I can agree with. I agree that college students should know how to write well. I work at the college. I believe this is a good thing. And then now making this objective and just saying it about everybody as opposed to just saying it about me, that is going to help them get a better grade. I agree. All right, third person. Here is the happy place. This is going to be where our formal writing happens. So you're going to use this for everything that we do. All of our essays are going to be this way, whether it is a synthesis essay, an analytical essay, a rhetorical essay. All of them, when we start writing about, when we start practicing our STAR EOC essays, persuasive and expository, they are always going to be third person. And the reason you want to make it third person is because it helps you stay objective, and you want to be objective for your reader. Okay, last thing we're going to talk about is when you're switching pronouns on your reader, it confuses them. Okay, so your most important thing as a writer, no matter what you're writing about, is you have to be an effective communicator. If you are switching your pronouns up on your reader, you're not going to effectively be communicating with them, and therefore they're going to be confused, and they will either not read what you've written, or they're not going to listen to you. Okay, so let's look at this example here. I enrolled in a fiction writing workshop for the winter quarter, and you have to complete 3 stories, each from a different point of view. Okay, so what's wrong with that sentence? So I want you to go back and read it. Think about it for a second. Okay, you should notice that in this first part of the sentence, you began with the first person pronoun I, but then you switch to the second person pronoun you. Now, I know a lot of us talk like this. We are talking about what we're doing, and then you're trying to further explain it to somebody, so then you shift into the you, because again, that's informal. But the way we write and the way we talk is going to be different. The way you write has to be formal. So right here is a better example. I enrolled in a fiction writing workshop for the winter quarter, and I have to complete 3 stories, each from a different point of view. Okay, so now I've got it all the same. And it makes sense, same point of view. So anyhow, that is point of view, and we're going to be doing some practice with it in class, so make sure you are very comfortable with first, second, and third person pronouns.